On Ian versus Daddy Bones, well, it looks like I changed my mind on this Turtles of Grayskull line, and we're gonna open up the Snake Infiltrator. Welcome back! It's another exciting episode of Ian vs. Daddy Bones. I am Ian Daddy Bones, Tone Chop on the hat, and Big Drew Graphics on the brand new Ian vs. Daddy Bones t-shirt that is a limited edition of 25. There's only going to be 24 shirts available to be created. So if you want to get one of these dope-ass Ian vs. Daddy Bones shirts that Outbreak Monkey did the art on, contact Big Drew Graphics. The shirts are $25 and there's only going to be 24 shirts remaining. So go check out Big Drew Graphics. But welcome everybody to the show. Again, my name is Ian Daddy Bones. I'd like to welcome everybody. I want to thank everybody who's watching right now on YouTube and Facebook. Give a special high five and a knuck dap to all the Patreon subscribers who throw me $3 a month to get bonus content, access to the Original Geeks podcast, and you get your name in the credits. It's a high five and a thank you from me for supporting the brand. And I gotta say, thank you very much to everybody who chose to level up over the course of the first week of the year. I really appreciate each and every one of you. And I'm going to reward everybody who decided to roll with me last year. I officially got magnets in the mail of this logo that Outbreak Monkey did. So everybody who subscribed to the Patreon is going to be getting a free magnet. Now, I need mailing addresses. I'm pretty sure I had them on the Patreon. Somebody did get at me and says, go look at your Patreon, go look at your subscribers. That information's in there. It's kind of one of those autofill things on their end when they're subscribing. So that's how it works apparently. So I'm going to be going in, checking that list, and I'm going to be mailing out magnets to my supporters. So thank you guys very much. But I have some extra magnets left over. So the first new subscribers to the Patreon of 2024, you are also going to get a magnet as my way of saying thank you very much for supporting the brand. But today on the show, I am here to discuss Masters of the Universe Origins and the future of its retail lifeline. Because change is in the air. It was brought to our attention last year. So I just want to bring everybody up to speed on where this brand, this toy line is currently at. This is the brand that I started collecting back in 2020 that has kickstarted all of this. You know what I mean? Everything about Ian versus Daddy Bones all started because I picked up a Skeletor and a He-Man going to Walmart one night. So I've been collecting Origins for the past 3 years. And at this point in time, with Masters of the Universe Origins, there's 14 waves that have been officially released either at retail and online simultaneously. The problem with the line has always been the distribution. 9 out of 10 times, people are not seeing the brand new figures in the stores, which is the way it's supposed to be. Instead, they're seeing either the same, and I don't want to say stale figures because, in my opinion, everything about Masters of the Universe is awesome to me. Like, there's no jobbers when it comes to, like, everybody in Masters of the Universe, which is, like, a reason why I didn't like the New Adventures Space He-Man line, because I felt that all the new characters were nothing but jobbers, and nobody stood out and to be as good as like Man-at-Arms or Tila. They were all fucking bums. but like there's no bums in Masters of the Universe. So I don't want to say stale characters that have become peg warmers, but I can relate. Like when I go to Target and I go to Walmart and I'm seeing the same Buzz-Off, Eternian Green Goddess, and Naked Stratos figure chilling on the peg, and I'll even throw Jitsu in that. Even though those figures, I was super excited when I saw them on the pegs for the first time, but the reality is, I saw them on the pegs for the first time 2 fucking years ago. Where are the new guys? Where's Sunman? Where's Pighead? Where's the Anti-Eternia He-Man? Where's Flying Fist He-Man? You know what I mean? Where's like King Randor? Where's Mini Comics Trapjaw? You know what I mean? Like, those figures people haven't been seeing in stores. And thankfully, with online retailers, whether it's Big Bad Toy Store, Entertainment Earth, Amazon, you know, or even trying to get them online from like Walmart and Target, you know, people are having luck. And as far as I'm concerned with my own collection, a lot of the stuff going forward, I've been able to pre-order and pretty much, you know, take a sticky note and write my name on it and basically claim one for myself until it actually arrives, and then it's time to process the payment and add it to my pile of loot or get it out in the mail for shipping. But as of right now, there's 14 waves, and there hasn't been a 15 wave announced, but with Origins, I have waves 1 through 14, with the exception of 3 figures, the 2000X Burger King Randy, the Snake version of Tila, and the Snake version of the Horde Trooper. Those pre-orders got canceled on me because the store I was going through found out that they weren't going to be getting another shipment of those figures of that wave. So they went out and emailed everybody that pre-ordered it that said, hey, sorry, something came up. Mattel told us we're not getting another shipment, so we had to cancel your pre-order. But hey, the good news is you didn't owe us any money to begin with. So, you know, happy hunting. Good luck looking for the 3 figures you're looking for. And that's pretty much the same boat I'm in right now with Masterverse. I'm totally caught up with Masterverse right now, with the exception of the new Eternia Buzz-Off and the new Eternia Faker, which apparently is affecting everybody because nobody's having good luck finding those figures, and the only people that got those figures were the ones that were able to pre-order it before the pre-order sold out. So, you know, it's all a fucking rat race, depending on what figure it is, what character, and how bad people fucking want them. You know, right now, this week in the world, everybody's talking about this fucking Stanley Starbucks cup at Target and shit, and it's like, you know, it's kind of funny seeing how many people in my hometown that can't support the brand, but you got money for an overpriced fucking Starbucks cup at Target. But okay, buddy, alright, I totally understand. Have fun with Spider-Man 2 that you got for Christmas. But when it comes to the Origins line, with my Wave 14 figures, like Wave 14 is Squeeze, the Snake Man Infiltrator, Serpent Claw Man-at-Arms, and Spikor. Now, Squeeze has been opened, Serpent Claw Man-at-Arms has been opened, Spikor I haven't opened yet, he's still mint on card, and honestly, I have Spikor still mint on card because he's being paired with his Masterverse counterpart, and that's going to be a future episode of Ian versus Daddy Bone. So I already got plans for Spikor. He's going to get opened when the time is right. But this is Wave 14. The Snake Man Infiltrator is the last figure until I get to the Spikor episode that I have remaining to open for Origins. But that's what I'm saying. There hasn't been a Wave 15 announced. So what's going to happen with the future of Masters of the Universe Origins? Especially considering the majority of the time I've been spending hosting this show, I've been talking about the Eternia crowdfund that I participated in at the end of 2022. I spent my entire 2023 making my financing payments to officially check off Eternia. And Eternia is getting ready to ship in the spring. But also at the same time, Mattel is starting another crowdfund for Masters of the Universe Origins. There was a fan's choice. We got to vote, and the winning choice was the snake layer. And what's really going on is Origins isn't dead. It's just they've put out the majority of the vintage toy line that they're literally down to like the final 16 figures. And by it being the final 16 figures, which, I mean, you look at it, they put out waves of 4. So with like 16 to like 18 figures remaining, and there could be some extra figures that they're going to add to the line because there have been some original characters added to the line that weren't around in the vintage line. Like the Snake Man Infiltrator. Like, this character exists in the line because it carried over from classics because they made a snake palace guard in the classics line. But what I'm getting at is the remaining Mattel Creations figures are more than likely going to be moved to Mattel Creations. So when the time is right for them to make Too Bad and Rio Blast and Extender, among others like Modulok, who the hell knows? All I know is I'm getting a phone call. I don't know who's calling me. All I know is it'll be really easy for these figures to become monthly Mattel Creation drops. You know, they could drop a figure a month over the course of this year, and we're still getting these final figures that are remaining in the toy line. Therefore, it's not dead, because people are still wanting more. Not every vehicle from the vintage line has been released. Like, there's barely been vehicles. Like, we've got the fucking, we got the Wind Raider, the Sky Sled that came with Prince Adam. We have the Stridor horse, and, beside not counting Battle Cat and the Panther, but we also got, like, the Ground Ripper that came with Mechanic. So there is some vehicles, but basically the big vehicles that took batteries in the 80s have not came out in the Origins line. And I don't even need to get into it to really understand why they're pricey, to have the battery operating, mechanism to power it. It's going to be pricey, you know what I mean? Even though they sell battery operated cars at like dollar stores for like $10, you know what I mean? But it's shit part and shit pieces, so you get what you pay for. So if you want like a decent Attack Trax or a Battle Ram or even a Dragon Walker, it's going to fucking cost you, especially in today's market and economy, especially when you look at it compared to what my parents were paying for these figures back in the day. I'm paying like 4 to 5 times the amount compared to what it was in the 80s. You know what I mean? Which has given me a greater appreciation for how much money my parents would spend on me as a kid, looking back at my childhood and my toys. You know what I mean? And I didn't have a lot. I didn't have everything. I wasn't spoiled. You know what I mean? It was Christmases and birthdays, and then bonuses came down to how I was doing in school, and that usually got broken down to fucking 4 report cards over the course of the school year. So between Christmas, my birthday, and 4 report cards, that's pretty much when Ian got toys and hookups when he was a kid. But looking overall with Origins, whether or not, because honestly the reality is, like, I'm speculating, but that is going to be some facts rolling into 2024. Masters of the Universe Origins is losing its retail space. There's not a Wave 15, because there's not a Wave 15 that's going to be available at Walmart and Target, even Best Entertainment Earth, Big Bad Toy Store, Amazon. And the reason for that is, like I said, they're moving it to Mattel Creations, but Masters of the Universe's Origins retail spot is going to be taken over by two new Masters of the Universe toy lines. And I've spoke about this briefly in the year-end episode. But now there's been more information revealed, and there's been more changes, as far as my opinion and, state of these brands, whether or not I want to jump on them or not. you got Masters of the Universe cartoon collection, which is the Origins figures with a slightly modified sculpt, because these figures are based on the Filmation 80s cartoon versions of the characters. And all of these figures are going to be coming with accessories that are like artifacts from certain episodes. So like Teela's got this fucking, what do you call it? Teela's got this training, robot, hoverbot, fucking Man-at-Arms comes with like the shrinking ray. Skeletor comes with these masks. He-Man comes with this sword from this episode that's not the power sword. So, it's paying homage to the Filmation series because they were never able to make the Filmation version of the toys in the 80s. But this way you could also blend them in with your Origins figures. So that's one line that's going to be new, debuting officially at retail. And then you also had the brand new Turtles of Grayskull line, which when I talked about Turtles of Grayskull, I made it absolutely clear that, like, I'm not feeling it. And I really wasn't feeling it until they became available for pre-order. And it's not like I completely folded, but what made me want to jump on them was I was willing to compromise. And by willing to compromise, the reality is, when you're taking something like Masters of the Universe and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and you're crossing it over and you're going to have a storyline that's going to explain why they're crossing over, you kind of want everything to be perfect. You know what I mean? Like, these are the professionals that work for Mattel that are coming up with this storyline, and you even have the design team, like Axel Jimenez and everybody else that's contributing art and doing the card backs on these. You want everything to be right, but being a fan of both franchises, especially with fans that are also other collectors, you have people that customize their figures. And over the course of life, especially seeing people post pictures on social media, I feel fans have done a better job with custom figures crossing over Ninja Turtles and Masters of the Universe and even other franchises. It's not just these two brands. But when they officially revealed, like, the first wave, because eventually, they showed the first wave first, and then they showed the second wave figures, and honestly, they even started off by showing, like, half of wave one, and then the other two figures in wave one, as far as, like, their social media, the way Masters of the Universe and social media pages were releasing content. They were doing like Man-at-Arms and Leonardo and whatnot, and you were getting to see these designs, and it's like, on one hand, it's like I was feeling the turtle designs, but I wasn't feeling the like remixed Masters of the Universe figures, because you're taking the turtle figures and you're adding Masters of the Universe influence into the Turtles armor and designs, and with the Masters of the Universe figures, you're basically taking that turtle / ninja / samurai look to the Masters of the Universe characters. And on one hand, I feel one works for the other, but it doesn't look really that good on the others. But there's another design element that plays a big factor in this crossover storyline, and that's the fact that, you know, Shredder and Krang came to Eternia. Shredder introduces the mutagen, the ooze, to Hordak and Shredder, and at some point a slime pit's going to be built that's going to have Shredder's head on it. So the rumor is there's going to be a Shredder slime pit that's going to come out in this line. And basically looking at the price point of the figures and looking, I don't want to say disdain, because I don't want to say I hate the Motu versions of these crossover figures, but I'm not really feeling, you know, because of the slime, because of the mutagen, the ooze, and the slime concept, you know, some of the masters get slimed and mutated into evil versions of themselves that are being controlled by Shredder and Skeletor. So basically, He-Man gets it, Ram-Man gets it, Moss-Man gets it, you know, and so you're gonna have bad guy versions of some of the masters. And then and this is where the Turtles come in as being like the main squad, trying to save the day, defeat the bad guys, and revert the masters back to their normal forms. So you got Michelangelo. Well, so far they've only revealed Leonardo, Raphael, Donatello as far as the first two waves of figures. Mikey's look got revealed in the mini comic that comes with the figures, and you know, he's probably going to be in the third wave, because you think with the first three waves, if you only put out 3 of the 4 turtles, you would expect Michelangelo to be in the third wave. But that's basically what I did. I decided, you know what? I'll compromise. I'll pre-order Leonardo, Donatello, Raphael, and they have Shredder available. So I'll pre-order those 4 figures because it's easier to integrate those 4 figures into my existing collection of Origins. And that way I can just chill and not even worry about the He-Man side of the crossover line. Because if I see him on sale, I might consider it. If I see him on a super dope clearance price, I'll probably most definitely consider it. I mean, I really don't want to pay like $20 for like a mutated He-Man figure, but if I'm able to grab him at fucking Ollie's someday for like $6, can't really pass on it, you know what I mean? But I'm going to start off with just the 3 Turtles and Shredder, wait for Michelangelo to drop, and see what other Ninja Turtle figures they put out in this Turtles of Grayskull line. I know Casey Jones is going to be getting a figure, so what I hope they do with Casey Jones is I hope they give him the Manny Faces gimmick, because I could see the Casey Jones figure being like Manny Faces, but only having his, like, you know, hockey stick and his baseball bat. But with it being Casey Jones and with the way Manny Faces works, I could see having a no mask Casey Jones spin the drum. You got hockey mask Casey Jones spin the drum, and then you had the variant Skullface Casey Jones, which could also, you know, be a reference to the mini comics Manny Faces that came out last year that has a skull face. So that's what I would like to see them do, but who the fuck knows? But like I said, I'm interested in the Turtles. I'm interested in Shredder. We'll see how it goes. I know the Turtles of Grayskull figures are officially live at retail now. As a matter of fact, before I got started doing the show today, I was checking my Facebook and scrolling Instagram, and I saw that Outbreak Monkey was actually out and about with his son today, and Outbreak Monkey actually found the Mouse Jaw figure out in the wild, which is the, basically they take Trap Jaw and Mauser and smash the 2 of them together, and it's kind of neat because Trap Jaw's got this helmet and jaw that makes him look like a Mauser head. He's got his mechanical arm that comes with like Roboto's attachments, and he also comes with a Mauser that like separates and also attaches to his mechanical arm. So he looks pretty fucking dope. for being like one of the, bad guy, for being one of the evil warriors within Masters of the Universe. I don't really like the Masters designs, but I'm kind of digging the mouse jaw design. So we'll see where we go with this Turtles of Grayskull line. But when it comes to the cartoon collection, I'm gonna say probably at some point I'm considering it. But right now there's other stuff on my plate that I'm focusing on. Like I said, Eternia ships in the spring, and I also have another crowdfund that's going to be going live in the spring for the Snake Layer playset, which also ties into some speculation with Masters of the Universe Origins, because the Snake Layer is going to be a brand new playset for Masters of the Universe. It's going to be Lady Slither and King Hiss's base of operations, but the Snake Layer is like back in the day pre-Eternia. So the cool thing about the new crowdfund is, I think, because Origins is losing its shelf life and we're getting Turtles of Grayskull as well as cartoon collection, I think Origins is officially going to evolve. This is where Origins is going to evolve into the Powers of Grayskull line. Because now that they have another crowdfund that they're going to reveal, there's going to be that window of the crowd. There's going to be that 30-day window of the crowdfund going live, and then the crowdfund's going to close, and then begins the waiting period, which is going to be like a year and 3 months, year and 6 months, until it goes fully into production. But for all I know, now that they know it's going to be, they could have started some production just in case, but who the hell knows? All I know is there's plenty of time for them to go in whatever direction they want for the Snake Layer playset, especially by the time it drops, ships, and you see the final packaging art. That thing could very well have a Powers of Grayskull logo a year and a half from now. Who the fuck knows? All I know is Christmas Eve, Axel Jimenez posted on his social media a picture of his work desk. You know what I mean? That slanted table that artists use when they're drawing their drawing table. It's got a picture of that with paper, and it's got some markers and pens and pencils, and it also has a mint on card Eldor figure on his Powers of Grayskull card, and that was unreleased in 1988 when Mattel pulled the plug on the line, and he made a caption that said, "Always working," and that's telling me that Eldor could very well be a backer bonus exclusive character that's available with this new crowdfund. So who the hell knows what's going to fully happen when they officially break the news and reveal everything about the Snake Layer playset once it goes live. But at the same time, there's plenty of life in the brand, because there's so many figures that some people haven't been able to track down and find, that they're constantly bitching at Mattel to have certain figures available. Like, for example, and I'm absolutely pissed about this, last year there was a random out of nowhere drop. None of us that participated in Mattel Creations drops over the course of 2023, none of us got a preparation email, okay? And they announced that Duplico was now available. And I was in a position to jump on it, and I was able to tell some of my people that I know collect Origins, hey, Duplico's live if you're able to get one. And unfortunately, homies weren't in a position to grab another one, and that was totally cool and shit. But I'm looking at it damn, I know people that were able to get lucky and get a Duplico, and I got fucking assed out and missed my opportunity again trying to get a Duplico. But that's the problem. Mattel, I don't know what it is about this fucking figure that Mattel just can't make it available for pre-order, especially on Big Bad Toy Store. That's what they did with the Mini Comics Manny Faces last year. A lot of people were surprised that Mini Comics Manny Faces was available for pre-order on Big Bad Toy Store, because he was supposed to be an Amazon exclusive. Just like Duplico was supposed to be a Walmart exclusive that apparently never showed up in Walmart, but only showed up in certain Walmarts. And he was a pain in the ass to get. And then Target was supposed to get Duplico, but then nobody's fucking seen Duplico at Target. Or at least I haven't, and anybody else that I know has not seen Duplico at Target. So like Duplico is one of those figures I'm trying to track down. But, you know, who else knows what else they could include with that Snake Lair playset? Because there's rumors going around that the Bashosaurus vehicle that's visible on the revealed Eternia box art. There's rumors that the Bashosaurus could be a vehicle. Who the hell knows what they're gonna do with the crowdfund? There's still plenty of questions, and you know, there's different price points that they could go with based on what they include in this package. Because let's be real, Eternia was $550 for the 3 towers with the monorail, and you know, honestly, all I'm getting is Modi the Moat Monster. So I'm not getting Keklar the Elder, I'm not getting King Grayskull with my Eternia. One of those was a backer, but one of those was a first week backer bonus, and then the other one was if they hit 10K, if they hit 10,000 backers, then everybody was gonna get Keklar the Elder. He was the final figure to unlock, but they switched it up at the last minute and said that, hey, if we get 10K, everybody gets King Grayskull. So unfortunately, all I'm getting is the Moat Monster with my Eternia, but who the hell knows? They may include Keklar with the fucking with the Snake Lair playset. You know what I mean? There's rumors that Hero could be one of the exclusive characters, and like I said, that's when you look at the price points and shit. Like they've had $250 crowd funds, like Jurassic Park gates. They've had $400 crowd funds for like WWE. New Generation ring, and even the failed WCW Monday Nitro entrance set failed last year. That was a $400 crowd fund. So all I know is based on the design of what the Snake Lair is, and all it is another clamshell opening, you know what I mean, fold it shut, lock your hinges, and now it's got a carrying handle, you know what I mean, type Castle Grayskull Snake Mountain playset. And those had a retail price of like $85. So a lot of us He-Man fans, Motu collectors are looking at this as at least being $85 for just the Snake Lair playset. Now what extras are they going to throw into this bitch to make it worth a $250 crowd fund or a $400 crowd fund? And honestly, Eternia, let's put it this way. Eternia was a success, but the WCW Monday Nitro playset failed. The Gates of Jurassic Park 30th anniversary failed. And that was supposed to come with the gates, the fucking T-Rex, the fucking Ford Explorer with the Jurassic Park. It came with the electrified fences. It came with the 2 kids, including the boy who's got the electrified head because he's made to clip onto the fucking electrified fence, so you get to fry Tim. But that failed. So because of like a major Jurassic Park playset was unsuccessful and a major WCW playset was unsuccessful, makes me super happy and proud that this Eternia playset got the green light and is officially going to ship in like 3 fucking months. You know what I mean? So just because they announced this second crowdfund does not guarantee that the Snake Lair playset's gonna be made at all. They're going to have 30 days to try to raise the funds and see how many people really want it. And if enough people want to make it, we're going to reach certain tier levels and unlock additional perks that's going to sweeten the deal at the end of the day, as long as everybody jumps on board that really wants one to make this a reality. And then it begins another 1.5-year countdown until it fucking ships and shit. But that's the thing, you know, I don't think Origins is dead. I understand what's going on, you know, and let's be real. Just because you're a fan of the vehicles doesn't mean the vehicles are important. The toy line does not revolve around the vehicle. The toy line revolves around the characters, the story, the figures, yes, the setting, and we have our settings. We have Castle Grayskull, we have Snake Mountain, we're gonna have Eternia. So we're gonna have this beautiful landscape for Masters of the Universe Origins. I don't think the vehicles are that big a deal. Not having the vehicles is not making it so I can't sleep at night. You know what I mean? And with everything that's left, you know what I mean? Like your Rio Blast and your Rock On and Stone Dar and Multi-Blot and fucking Modulok, and you got freaking Dragstore, and you got Blast Attack and fucking Extendar, you got Cyclone, even the spinning top dudes, there were two of those, like Twiston and Rotor or Roton, whatever the fuck, Rotor, I don't know what their fucking names were. I thought they were lame, so even if I was able to get them as a kid, I probably would have groaned if I got one of the spinning top people for like my birthday back in the day. Like, okay, the spinning top people would probably be two jobbers in the Masters of the Universe line, going back to the beginning of the episode. But there's still plenty of characters to come out. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. Like, some of these characters could come with the crowdfund. Some of these could be Mattel Creations exclusive, and some of the figures could even be 2-packs. Why are we putting them out individually? Why don't we just do a 3-pack? Why don't we just do a double pack of Multi-Bot and fucking Modulok, since all their pieces can combine together anyway? Why don't we just give them a fucking complete package? Who the hell knows what they're gonna do? But we're gonna take a break real quick, and when I get back, we're gonna open up the Snake Man Infiltrator. Alright, we're back. Now, this is the second week I've been doing it, so obviously y'all have been noticed I've been starting to do these like little bumper spots between edit breaks. That way it gives me an opportunity to show off some of my homies that are making moves and doing their thing. And I was the Facebook memories reminded me yesterday that it was 9 years ago yesterday at an Excite Wrestling show that I participated in a 6-man tag match that saw me not only get chokeslammed and knocked the fuck out by Axel Lennox, but that wound up dislocating my hip and knocking me the fuck out, giving me a concussion. And while I was knocked the fuck out, apparently Mark House, who I was managing at the time, was like, oh shit, he's knocked the fuck out. You know what? I'm gonna get him out of the ring. Mark goes to reach in and like grab me by my legs, and then Ivy Green's like, nah, that fucker pushed me off a ladder through a barbed wire table. Okay? Fuck him. I'm not done with him yet. So then Rob grabs me by my fucking neck, and literally, like, the video's on YouTube. The video's on the YouTube channel if you want to go watch me get knocked the fuck out from a choke slam during a wrestling match. Go check that shit out. But Rob was like, nah, he pushed me off a barbed wire. He pushed me off a ladder through a barbed wire table. I'm not fucking done with him yet. So Rob pulls me back in the ring. I'm knocked the fuck out. He sits me up, and apparently he's got like a baking sheet in the back of his pants. Like, and I'm not talking like a fucking cookie sheet, okay? And I don't mean like Family Dollar, like cheap aluminum, oh my god, and folded in half cookie sheet. Like, he had me like it was like a cooking pan, like the type that, you know, you would pot, you know, it's not like if you're making a meatloaf, you know what I mean? It's like the little type of smaller baking pan that you would use to cook a meatloaf. And he had one of those, and he fucking just cracked me over the fucking skull. He cracked me over my already concussed skull with this fucking thing. And if you watch the video, like the gunshot sound this thing makes when he smacks me over the head with it is what fucking woke me up. And yeah. I walked to the hospital the next day, like, no. I didn't walk to the hospital. My wife told me, okay, you slept like shit, you were groaning all night, you're in fucking pain, I'm taking you to the hospital. So my wife took me to the hospital, and we parked in the parking lot right outside the emergency area, and I was able to walk with a hobble, with this dislocated hip. But as soon as I saw a wheelchair, when I made it inside, I'm like, oh my God, I want to sit down. So I remember sitting down in the chair and shit, and then when it was my turn to be seen by the doctor and whatnot, they did x-rays and shit, and the lady's like, yeah, you definitely got a dislocated hip. How did you get to the hospital today? Did you, like, have crutches, or you were in a wheelchair when you came in? Did you arrive in a wheelchair? I'm like, no, I walked from the car inside. And she's like, you walked with a dislocated hip from your car. Like, how much pain were you in? I'm like, I was in enough pain where I wanted to sit the fuck down. Like, I mean, that's why I'm in the wheelchair. But yeah, yeah, I dislocated my hip 9 years ago, and it's funny because Axel Lennox and I talk about that from time to time, and it's funny because anytime we talk about it, Axel will always apologize, like, oh, I feel so bad about it, and I'm like, don't, man, you know what I mean? It's part of the business, right? You know the risks when you step between those ropes, and especially with my skinny ass, knowing I'm not a wrestler, but, you know, I allowed a wrestler to fucking grab me by my neck and choke slam my ass, and I just remember Vinny being like, Axel being like, all right, tuck your chin, and I'm just like, okay, and then next thing I know, he just grabs me by my neck, puts his hand on my back, lifts me up into the air, and then I'm looking at the lights, and then next thing I know, it's like, it reminded me when I was at Disney, and like, you know, in the Haunted Mansion, and the Omni Rover or whatever the fuck, like, spins around and you, like, go backwards down the staircase and shit. All I remember is, like, being lifted up, looking at the lights, and then coming down like the fucking tower of the drop of death at fucking Hollywood Studios, and then boom, lights out. And then next thing I know, Rob's Ivy Greens hit me in the head with a fucking cookie sheet, and yeah. So that was 9 years ago yesterday. And I shared that photo on my social media because, to me, the funny thing about it is a picture was taken that night by Mark Griffin, who is an amazing photographer, and his albums are worth the look if you want a nice history of independent wrestling in upstate New York for all sorts of companies that Mark has traveled to take photos of, like Excite Wrestling and 2CW, among many, many more. But Mark Griffin took some amazing shots of me at times over the course of being affiliated with Excite Wrestling, and that night Mark got some shots of me because I was wearing full gear, legit wrestling gear for the first time in my life, and they basically sent me out there looking like Creator Wrestler number 4. I honestly was wearing a pair of Ivy Green's old tights. I was wearing some guy's elbow pad on one arm. I was wearing another guy's knee pad on another leg, and yeah, I was completely sent out there in full gear, and honestly, it was an amazing night. It was an amazing time, and you know what I mean. It was one of the best and worst nights of my life. You know what I mean? It's the first time I ever, other than getting, I mean, I've taken my fair share of wrestling moves. Like, I've been hit by super kicks and code breakers, and I've even botched super kicks, and, you know, it's little shit like that. Sometimes it still keep me up at night. Like, I'm trying to fall asleep and whatnot, and then all of a sudden my brain's like, hey, you asleep yet? And I'm like, no. And then my brain's like, remember that one time fucking you botched the super kick from Sean Carr? And then next thing you know, I'm like up for 15 minutes thinking of that shit. But, you know, it was the first time I ever took a choke slam, and holy fuck, I just remember Vinny like, I thought I told you to tuck your chin, and I'm like, I did. But look at me, I practically weigh nothing. Gravity kicked in. But back to this figure I've been opening over the course of telling my story. What we have right here is the Snake Infiltrator, which is, all it is a variant of the Eternian Palace Guard figure, which honestly I never got a chance to talk about on Ian versus Daddy Bones. I haven't gotten that far with talking about and breaking down some of the figures in the Origins line. But at some point, I believe it was 2021, one of the online exclusive figures was going to be the Eternian Palace Guard, which was an army build figure for the Masters, because you always see Man-at-Arms and Tila. Man-at-Arms is in charge of the Eternian Palace Guards. Tila is the captain of the Royal Guard. This is the Royal Guard. So they made Palace Guard figures, and basically the Palace Guard figure comes in armor that's very similar to Man-at-Arms, except he's wearing armor on both of his legs. He's got armor on both of his arms. He's got full armor on both of his arms. So in my honest opinion, other than the chest armor, I actually think these guys kind of look like better Man-at-Arms, because it always bothered me how like me looking like Creator Wrestler number 4, it always kind of bothered me how like Man-at-Arms always had like one piece of one arm had armor and the other one didn't. One leg had armor and the other one didn't. You know what I mean? But your human shields have armor on both their arms and their legs. But they got a different design armor, which honestly looks like a Man-at-Arms version of Battle Armor He-Man's armor, because it has the Eternian Royal crest of the Falcon Zor on the armor, and you know, they look pretty fucking dope. Now, normally the regular Palace Guard would have like, you know, he had two heads. The figure came with basically this head with the mask, with the nose and mouth guard, but he also came with another head that was basically Man-at-Arms' head with no mustache. And they kind of gave you that in case you wanted to switch up the Man-at-Arms you got by taking off his mustached face and popping on the head that has no mustache. Now, the only difference between this figure and the other Eternian Palace Guard would be, there might be a difference in the shade of green on the body, but I don't think so, because if this is supposed to be a Palace Guard, then everybody else is supposed to be tricked into thinking this is a legit Palace Guard. But if you look closely, he has a snake face underneath the helmet, behind the face mask, and he has red eyes. So this is an Eternian Palace Guard who has been, I don't know exactly how they get transformed into the Snake Man, whether it's like hypnosis or if it's even a case of them getting bit. So I don't know if it's like some Resident Evil shit where it's like, oh no, oh no, Doug got infected. Doug got infected, so Doug's a snake man. So, you know, this is Doug. He got fucking bit, or maybe he got mind controlled by like Lady Slither or King Hiss. You know, I mean, he does come with the mini comic that says The Fading Fortress. Now, this is the same mini comic that comes with Spikor, Squeeze, Serpent Claw, Man-at-Arms. So, flipping through this, and I know I flipped through this on the episodes when I opened up Squeeze and Serpent Claw, Man-at-Arms, but it doesn't necessarily show anybody getting bit or any type of mind control. All it shows is Man-at-Arms and the guard. They're on this way to this fading fortress, and Skeletor sees what's going on, so he sends Spikor out there to fuck shit up. But when they get to the fading fortress, they come across Squeeze, and let's see here. It's not really showing the Palace Guard. It's not really showing exactly how he transforms, how he gets infected. All it shows is Squeeze breaking some eggs, like some egg sacs, kind of like gremlins, like when they're pods, and that's where like the snake troopers come from. But basically, Man-at-Arms and the guard are observing all of this, and then so in the purpose of the comic, the guard's name is Otto. So when Squeeze sees Man-at-Arms and Otto, he summons the snake troopers, and he's like, Otto, defense formation. And that's when Otto turns heel and is basically like, there's no Otto, Man-at-Arms, and now he's a snake infiltrator. So honestly, I feel the mini-comic's kind of lame with breaking it down, how exactly they become a snake man. But my assumption, based on what I know between this type of shit, whether it's movies, comic books, anime, he probably got bit by one of the snake men, and he became a snake man himself. Like, I mean, that's probably how it has to happen, because that's how Teela became Snake Teela, especially in the classics version, because there's a version Snake Teela got bit, Snake Teela reverted to like a green form version of herself that was like the snake men looked at her as a goddess, like kind of like the way the Ewoks looked at C-3PO in Return of the Jedi. You know what I mean? All the snake men looked at Snake Teela and shit, were like, yeah, you know what I mean? So they're all fucking worshiping her and shit. So in that continuity, she got bit. So who the hell knows? But all I know is, you know, he's a pretty dope looking figure. He's an army build, which means he's the type of figure that Mattel wants you to get like 2 or 3 of them. So that way, with like the other snake men, and even like the horde troopers and shit, and even the skeleton warriors that recently came out, you know, you got your army build figures within Masters of the Universe. So he's a pretty dope figure. I mean, I already have the Eternian Palace Guard, and honestly, my Eternian Palace Guard, he just sits and chills in the Wind Raider that I have on the stand back at home. So half the time I forget I even have the Eternian Palace Guard, because he's just chilling in the Wind Raider. But now I have somebody for the Palace Guard to like face off against, because it's like, you know what I mean? It's kind of like having that backstabbing friend. You know what I mean? It's like you got the Eternian Palace Guard and you got his buddy, and then next thing you know, he becomes a fucking turncoat snake in the grass. So now he's got to confront his fucking former best friend that decided to become a scaly-looking motherfucker. So, you know, now the Eternian Palace Guard can confront his nemesis / newly turned previous best friend. But that's gonna do it for today's episode of the show. Real quick before I get out of here, next week on Ian vs. Daddy Bones, if you look to the left of your screen, my right on the table, you'll see the new attorney at Ramban and the new attorney at Man-at-Arms. I'm going to be talking about these guys next week because I'm going to be running it back to 40 years ago when I was 4 years old and I received the very first Masters of the Universe figures I ever got in my life, Man-at-Arms and Ramban. So I get to relive that experience of opening these two figures together for the first time, and I haven't done that since I was 4 years old. But my name is Ian Daddy Bones. Thank you very much to all of my supporters out there, everybody who shares my content. I see you. I appreciate each and every one of you. And for all the Patreon subscribers, seriously, I'm going to get those addresses. I'm going to get those magnets out to you. Again, the first 15, 20 people that subscribe to the Patreon for $3 a month, you're going to get the hook up with the free magnet too. I got stickers coming. I got fucking coasters coming. And I got more stickers coming throughout the year. It's going to be sick. I got so much stuff on deck in the background while I prepare for Eternia to go out in the mail. But thank you guys very much for supporting the show. And I will see you next time on Ian vs. Daddy Bones. Cheers, Pete.
Where will I be when I run out of luck? Get hit by a truck or get stuck on the railroad tracks. When shit goes amok and life starts to suck, you're stuck cause you never go. Where will I be when I run out of luck? Get hit by a truck or get stuck on the railroad tracks. When shit goes amok and life starts to suck, you're stuck cause you never go back.
You can't hide and you can't pretend, cause I'll punch you out like Wendy and Glenn. Some things you learn in the school you attend, but the things that I say you can't comprehend.
I ain't no hippie and I ain't no punk. I don't smoke crack and I don't do junk. I'll just sit down and smoke a fat bong, pull out my guitar and sing a fast song. There's your motherfucking American Idol, putting $2 a gallon down the gas hole. 10 million votes for the next asshole. I'll just put on my engineer's hat, sit back and relax while we speed down the tracks. I'll read the book just to spit out the facts.
Where will I be when I run out of luck? Get hit by a truck or get stuck on the railroad tracks. When shit goes amok and life starts to suck, you're stuck cause you never go back. Where will I be when I run out of luck? Get hit by a truck or get stuck on the railroad tracks. When shit goes amok and life starts to suck, you're stuck cause you never go back.
Where will I be when I run out of luck? Get hit by a truck or get stuck on the railroad tracks. When shit goes amok and life starts to suck, get stuck cause you never go. Where will I be when I run out of luck? Get hit by a truck or get stuck on the railroad tracks. When shit goes amok and life starts to suck, you're stuck cause you never go back.
Up your driveway all calm and collective, tripping balls like an underground detective. Need some new shit but my funds are running low. I spend it on weed, truth, fear and flow. Living life like a cartoon, just flipping the page as I'm staring down the barrel of a 12 gauge. Shotty to the body and it's got me open, shaking so bad I think my legs are broken. I'm choking on the smoke and coughing up the shot, waking up from a dream. These drugs are high. Chasing strychnine with kind and beer with whiskey. Sing a lullaby and I'm sorry you missed me.
You can't hide and you can't pretend, cause I'll punch you out like